you have 2,000 screenshots on your phone right now, and you're going to take another 3 today, and I'll explain why. Hi, my name is Debbie. I have a PhD in digital psychology, and I decode psychology so you can use tech smarter. I'll be honest, I'm super guilty of doing this myself. I don't even want to know how many screenshots I have on my phone right now. One of the reasons why we take screenshots is because we see something that is interesting and we want to save it for later. We don't want to forget it because, as some of you may know, our brain can only hold about 7 pieces of information at one time. So when we see something that is interesting, we think, I'll capture it and I'll remember it later. So the relief from that is the reward. And your brain feels like it's closed the loop because even though that information is important, it's captured somewhere, I don't have to hold on to it anymore. But here's the problem. Memory research shows that what matters isn't necessarily storage, it's also retrieval. So the photo that you took is only the first part of the equation. There's another part that you need in order to actually use that for later. Your ability to find information when you need it is what makes memory so powerful. So, a screenshot that's sitting unorganized in your phone is a little bit like just shoving something in your junk drawer and hoping that you'll find it one day. Also guilty of doing that. So, this connects to something actually called the Google effect, which is also called digital amnesia. So, studies have found that if people believe that the information is stored somewhere, they're less likely to encode it in their own memory. And so, for instance, with the Google effect, you might not remember something because you can just Google it. And so that can be very helpful in terms of not cluttering your mind with a lot of information when it is very easy to find it on Google. This sort of breaks down if you don't have Google or this is information that is actually quite important that you're going to have to remember. So the problem with screenshots is that if you don't actually have a system to retrieve it very easily, then it's very hard to find it when you actually need it. So part of how memory works is that when you're encoding, you're trying to connect it to other things that you remember. So screenshotting is not necessarily a memory strategy, or it's an incomplete memory strategy. It's more of a relief strategy. It resolves the anxiety of I might forget this without actually solving the actual problem. So if you actually want the strategy to work, you're going to have to close the loop and actually do the work that your brain would typically do in order to fully commit something to memory. And that is actually categorizing it. So if you do take a screenshot, you might want to tag it or label it or put it in a folder somewhere so that you can find it when you actually need it. The next time you take a screenshot, try to organize it as quickly as you can before you do something else. Hope that helps. Happy screenshotting, and I'll see you in the next one.